Hey everybody, I wanted to go over the procedures for the preheater. This thing is not inherently dangerous, but if you don't use the proper procedures, it becomes dangerous. I mean, we take a look at what we're doing, right? We're lighting a can of propane on fire. So this is what we're going to use to preheat the airplanes when the temperatures get down really, really low. The very first and last thing that you do on this device is you turn on the fan. The switch is located back here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's back there. So the first thing you do is turn on that switch and you'll hear the fan start going. So now we're ready to walk around and turn on the propane itself. Notice I'm turning it counterclockwise and now the propane is fully on. Now I'm going to walk around. I'm going to push two buttons. One button is the primer and the other button is the spark. So now I'm going to hold down the primer. You hear it running through the gas through there, and I'm going to continue to hold the primer. The manufacturer says about 30 seconds or so, but really I find that it runs just fine by holding it about for 20 seconds, and it will stay lit that way. So I'm going to hold it for just a few more seconds. Then I'm going to let it go, and if it goes out, I'll simply start it again using that same procedure. There you go, so it's running just fine. So now what I want to do, you can feel this nice warm air coming out of here. Thermometer there that's telling me how warm the air is that's going in there. I also want to use this other plug, or I can leave the other plug in there, it doesn't matter, to keep that heat inside the airplane. How long do you run it? Well, about as long as it takes to do a pre-flight. Now, I'm sure you're teaching your students a pre-flight's not the same thing as a 100-hour. It should not take 45 minutes to do a pre-flight inspection, right? They're simply going to walk around the airplane. It should take about 10 minutes or so. That's going to put this engine oil up to a nice 40 degrees or something like that. You can run it longer, but because the air is so warm coming out of there, I don't want to risk damaging the paint on the cowling here. So, after you've preheated the airplane, turning this off is a very distinct process as well. I'm going to come around here. I'm going to come back down. I'm going to turn this gas off by turning it clockwise. All the way clockwise. I've now turned the fuel off. It's going to continue to run for just a moment longer. So I'll let all of that fuel run out to where it's just blowing air. And you can hear it subside now. Remember the first thing we did? Now we're going to do the very last thing. The very last thing that we're going to do is I'm going to flip that switch right off. Now, pull this out. You have preheated your airplane. And you're ready to go flying.